What's good, my YouTube family and tribe? What's good to my Niji tribe and all the wonderful people out there today? This is Dr. Sean on the mic, and today I just want to talk about my current transition from identifying as African American, aka Black, to reclassifying myself back to the proper classification of Indian. Okay, but you guys, to all my Niji family, this is not for everybody. Um, I just feel so weird changing all of my traditions and identifying in this new identity because I did my genealogy. So before, if you coming on here to say, "Oh, well, listen," if you didn't do my genealogy, do not even try it. So after doing my genealogy and realizing that I'm doing a lot of things that my ancestors did not do, I was celebrating a lot of holidays that were actually celebrating their death and overtaking them and just celebrating defeating them in war. Um, so for me, it's hitting different now. But I'm having an issue with like when I talk to family and friends, and I'm this whole new identity, and they're still like heavily into the things that I'm not anymore. So as I learn new things and I'm growing, it's different. So I want to know, how do you guys feel once you found out the truth about religion, about what Walter Plecker did, and about your true identity? To my Niji family, how did you transition from being Black to your new identity? I guess that's a fair question. And I'm asking this question also for the people who are still asleep and stuck under the Christopher Columbus thumb, who one day will transition out of that and say, dang, I'm not Black. That doesn't mean anything. It's not tied to a people. Once they understand that and once they transition out of it, it is going to be challenging because you have everybody around you who you've associated with. They know you as this person, they uplift you as this person. And to go and say, hey, I'm not this person, I'm this person now. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm going through now, just dealing with a lot of uh, people who are just used to me being the old me. So allow me to reintroduce myself because I have to be truthful now. I have to be truthful because I know the truth, and I know the truth about what Christopher Columbus said. And I always go back to that after I read what he said about, the end. Well, first of all, just them changing us from from Indian into Negro. That for one threw me for a loop. Well, I'm like, wow, no wonder why my hometown of Anihaka, aka Tallahassee or Tallahassee, they changed all the names and made it different but kind of the same. So now when I go home, um, and I look around, it's nothing but Indian stuff. I went to Appalachia Elementary. There's Appalachia Parkway. There is so many Monroe Street. There's so much of the history right before our very eyes, and it's kind of astonishing. um and I'm just gonna continue to dig and find out the truth and find out what they did and find out how they just came and murdered people. And it's baffling, guys. It's baffling, and every day I have to learn now how to be this new truthful identity after something has been stolen, and you have to piece it together. And it's like, well, what kind of religion, well, what kind of spirituality did we have? Like, um, I know there's a creator, but what did we call our creator? What language did we use? So to steal a whole culture from a people and to give them a whole nother culture. And something about Black people, once we do something, we're gonna take it to the max. So that's why you see a lot of Black Lives Matter movements, and people are fighting to be equal, or fighting for, you know something that probably won't happen because black isn't really even tied to a land. And I understand this on such a deep level now, only because I did my research. Because I've been hearing this. Um, my fiance is heavy into doing research on this topic, and he was doing the research way before I was. And I was still into Christianity, heavily into Christianity. I was still into believing what they taught in school, that we was a slave and we wasn't worth nothing, and all of these things, not knowing it was the exact opposite. Not knowing that the colored people were the original indigenous people. And it's just so much fugazi that it's hard to kind of figure out, well, what the hell is really the truth. So some people that I have mentioned this to in my family, because I feel like it's my duty as the chiefess in my family, if I can even say that, to let people know what I learned. And I've been telling people slowly, but without trying to give them too much of what I know, because I know how it sounds, because I've been into Christianity. I've been into that mindset where I'm thinking it was a slave type of thing and we came from Africa. I've been in that mindset, and to wake out of that, it takes a lot of grit. It takes a lot of courage to denounce something that you once believed in. But once I researched I did like 2 weeks of deep research. And what baffled me is the things that I found. I found so much evidence to support who I truly am. And if you're Niji like me, if you are indigenous, when you start doing your research, you will be baffled just as much, unless your family genealogy leads you to a different place, which is why you can't really count on other people to first tell you who you are. You can't count on other people to know your family history. And then the sad thing about that is, even the elders in the family, they don't really continue that oral family history. They don't really continue it, at least not in my family. So everything just goes with the flow. We're celebrating Christmas, we're celebrating Thanksgiving, 4th of July, all of these different holidays that I found out have nothing to do with us. I superly didn't want to let Christmas go, because some kind of way I tied that to Jesus' birthday, like they teach you. But when you actually do the research, it had nothing to do with Jesus' birthday. It had nothing to do with it. It had something to do with them trying to switch their Greek culture of partying for days and drinking and having sex and trading places with their slaves in Europe, and them just wanting to change it to something positive. So because they were already celebrating, they didn't want to give it up. So they just said, hey, let's put the cross, let's put Jesus here, and now we're going to make it a positive holiday. And when I saw that, I'm just like shocked, because you can hear people talk about this, but when you actually go and do your own research, it really will hit you different. And I'm all about, well, you said that, but I need to read this for myself. Like, I got to see this with my own two eyes. I need 2020 crystal vision. I don't need it to come out of your mouth. I need to read it and understand it and study it and know for a fact. So these things that I'm studying are just pure facts. I even just, when you switch from the mindset of I'm not black anymore, it does something to you. All of a sudden, you have this whole culture that you can go and research and find out so much about yourself, your ancestors, where you come from. There is so much rich history there, which is why it makes sense for me why they didn't want the slaves, aka the Indians, for most of us to read. They didn't want us to write. They didn't want us to dress in our um tribal wear. They took away our entire identity and pretty much brainwashed our brain, and they completely changed how we look, how we dress, so that the future generations will forget that history. But the one thing that really messed those old guys up from the old government, who was super racist and all about take, 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 we don't care who here, we just gonna kill him and come here and just flood the block. The one thing that they did anticipate, they did not anticipate the invention of, number one, the internet. Okay. I think the internet really fucked them up. It really, really did that. Because when they were around here saying, we're going to reclassify them as this, and we're going to make a ban on reading and ban on books and ban on knowledge and ban on knowledge. Knowledge is power. So that means you're putting a ban on the true power, right? So they didn't anticipate the internet coming out. And then when the internet came out, I guess they thought, okay, well, it's just the internet. Everybody don't have a computer. They didn't anticipate computers being born. They did not, I kid you not, they did not anticipate social media. Back in the hundreds and 200s, when they was coming over here settling and flooding the block and bombing people and trying to erase identities and making people take off their tribal wear, but also just going in their history and saying, oh shit, they got cartoons and not cartoons, they have like figurines and different drawings of the native people, and they look nothing like the Native Americans. And I shouldn't say native people. They had so much evidence, even in Spain, France, Europe. They came over here and did research on us first. Put it in the books, exactly the truth, how we look. Copper tone people, dark skinned people. They look like the people in Africa. They look nothing like us. This is a beautiful race of people. Like, this is the way they describe us in these books. So when you go back and you're reading this, you just not, I think we just so caught up in today that we don't even think about the atrocity that is still happening right now as I speak. A stolen identity, a stolen spirituality, and we were just given the Bible. Christopher Columbus said out of his mother mouth, damn, these people don't know nothing about murder. They don't know nothing about killing. They don't know nothing about evil. They don't even have an idol. They don't idolize nothing. This is what he was saying. He said, we don't idolize. He was just saying, like, they're so pure. They're so spiritual. We have to give them the Bible. And once I saw that, I was like, there's no way. He was like, thank God for finding this land to kill these people. Like, he said stuff like this, talking to God and Jesus. I'm like, wait, did I miss something? For me, that put a pause on my Christianity belief. Like, it put a pause. Then I did a deep dive into Christianity, which I'm still doing, and I'm finding out so many things. But when you start talking about religion, and people get a little sensitive, because I used to be that person who would get a little sensitive, like, that's evil. Like, even back in the day, I realized the Jehovah's Witnesses didn't celebrate holidays. I'm like, they don't get to celebrate holidays? I bet that's not fun. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's all made to be fun, not knowing the true history. So you could be sitting here conjuring up spirits and stuff and not even know, because you're out of your true identity. You know, they came and gave us that religion because they wanted to take the land. That's why you'll see something like they gave us the Bible and took the land. Gave us the book, took the land. And now I see it clear as day. I see it so clear. And it's astonishing, especially when I go back and research my hometown, Tallahassee, which was one of the most advanced cultures and societies and inspirations for other tribes. It's astonishing. And when I go home, I'm like, well, damn, it's true. My high school, Rickards High School, their mascot was originally Redskins, aka Copper Tone people, right? And it's mostly people who look like me go to this school. Copper Tone, right? So they said, hey, we got to continue covering things up. I didn't even realize when my first year of high school, we had a new mascot. And I did not understand it then, because the knowledge is hidden so plain in sight. I didn't realize they changed the mascot to continue to erase history. So they changed from the Rickards Redskins to, even Redskin is offensive because it's just a description of what they thought that they saw. But they changed it from that to Raiders. So a Raider is somebody who comes with swords and guns and knives and just kills people. So we went from Rickards Redskins to the Rickards Raiders. And they had like one was better than the other, to raid somebody, steal their identity, steal their land, make them poor, push them into poverty, and just rob them blind. Like, That's all Christopher Columbus kept saying. Oh my God, this is gonna be a great place for us to go in Spain and put our ships here. Oh my God, they already got the boats and the canoes and they're so beautiful. I've never seen it. And oh my goodness, this is gonna be great for us to come in and produce. It's gonna be so much profit, 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 profit. Oh, they don't have materialism. We're gonna introduce all this stuff that I see we do now. They introduced it back then, and the shit that gets me the most is that it wasn't a coincidence. This man literally came over here with a plan to plot and kill. Like, oh, I see a land that I want. Let me go kill those people. Take that land, give them a Bible, and do this charity. What did he call it? He called it the charity, um, like a charity poverty thing. It's all delusional, guys. It's all delusional and evil. And I ain't never thought that I would have to figure something like this out. So how do you figure out this new identity that you're in? I think this is a fair question for everyone who has transitioned to this identity. I get it. Oh, if they don't with us, then just screw them. But for me, I'm in the middle, like coming out of it. I'm in this new identity and surrounded by so many people that believe in my old identity. And it's just very weird. It's weird. It's weird to tell people, dang, that Bible, the Bible was written by King James and he wrote the book of demonology. People be like, nah. But when I looked it up, I'm like, well, damn, he did write the book of demonology and he put the Bible together with 3 other books and kind of made something up. So it's just a bunch of evil that I'm finding out. But in the midst of evil, I'm definitely learning more about who I am, our culture, being Mississippians, Floridians, aka people from Anhaka. They changed the name so bad. But I'm gonna tell y'all something about his story. His story. I'm gonna tell y'all something about his story. Never let his story tell your story. Because your story is a mystery, right? It's only a mystery because you listen to his story. So find out who you are, guys, and stand on business. So right now, I'm in my business of being tested to stand on business. Am I going to stand on business? Or am I going to, like, when people come around and they're talking something I don't really agree with, I'm just going to leave? Or do I enlighten them and get into this big ass argument? Because you already know how Christianity, it kind of forces you to be, if you don't believe it, I'm against you. Never challenge it, never question things. But now I'm in the season where I question everything. Because the way that man pulled up and was like, we giving them this, we switching that, I don't trust nothing in a book. I need more, I need evidence. Because he pulled up like, if this is an island, imagine pulling up to an island. You see a whole nation of people, right? And you just like, man, fuck them people. We're going to name this island La Isabella. Oh, we gonna name that. He was in the book just naming their land, naming it. I'm like, well, you ain't gonna ask them what the name of the land, even though you can't speak to them. It's like, oh, I see people, so we can't claim that territory. He was just like, man, fuck them people. We're gonna get in this Bible. I don't care if it's 10,000 of them. And all it takes is 10 of us with a Bible. Now, my Bible believers and did y'all ever know that? Like, how does that make you feel? Like, how does that make you feel about what you knew? Do you feel like, bump him? I don't care about what he said. I'm still going to do this because this is what we just know about. I don't know. For me, I challenge everything now. And it's just going to be a whole different 2025 for Dr. Sean because, baby, all my needy tribe, y'all have put me on game. Like, and y'all put a real one on game. I'm gonna bring that genius out and question a lot of things now because I'm doing my research. I have so much research just in this past 2 weeks. I can't even imagine a year from now what will become of my story. Not his story, but my story. I had to go through my YouTube. If you notice, a lot of my videos are gone because I don't want to keep pushing out something that I'm not anymore. I had to just let it all go. I'm a new person now. I own it. I accept it. I'm standing on business about it. I'm watching the language that I speak because I know these words whole a meaning, especially in other languages. So we're speaking a whole nother language. So a lot of the words that I was using, a lot of the passion I had for certain things, I don't do anymore. And it happened like that. That's how powerful knowledge is. When you don't know and you're blind, you would just follow. Like you just following the leader. Even if the leader leading you to nowhere, leading you to poverty, leading you to, you know, doomsday, leading you to work until you're dead, leading you to just believe that you can never be nothing, leading you to believe that you're only worth being an employee, leading you to believe that your ancestors came from Africa and they are worth nothing, and that you came over here and we gave you something, leading you to believe that you don't have inheritance and land and positive images from your past. That's pure evil. And anybody that rocks with that and in the name of the Bible and using that as their way and their guide, I can see clear through that. So I need y'all to wake up. If you're not woke and you're confused by this message, you're like, well, dang, what are you talking about, Dr. Sean? You got to do your research. Like I said, knowledge is power. Knowledge changed my life. When I was just sitting around listening to this person, listening to people tell me about I wasn't growing. I was just stuck in this depressed state. Like, it's actually like evilness was in my life. Now, just pure light. I'm unapologetic. I'm unafraid to speak my truth. I'm still trying to figure out how to adapt to my new truth and share it amongst my tribe for the ones who don't know. But put your opinion about how you handle it, how you transition, what kind of conversations are you having to get this into your tribe. I've been thinking about, like, I seen one lady, she put all of her genealogy information into like this binder, so she has this as physical proof of who she is, where she came from, family history, so you know. So I think I'm gonna do that and then just share it with my family. I don't really know. But it has to be done. It literally has to be done. Okay. So I didn't anticipate this being 22 minutes, but I have to get this stuff off my chest as I continue to awaken, as I continue to come out of this trance that I've been in, thinking that I was worthless. Nothing is worse than going to school, elementary, middle school, and being taught self hate, and other kids being taught that they're better and all these different things, and not being able to learn your true history, identity, who you are is banned. That's how you know it's spiritual. That's how you know it goes deep. It goes deep, guys. But just open up the box and start exploring, and I promise you, what I'm saying now, it'll make a lot more sense. It definitely will. I'm not black. Please don't call me black. I'm not a dead person. I'm not nothing. Don't call me black. Don't call me African American, because I'm not from Africa. You can't be from Africa in America. Don't call me these things. I go by Aboriginal, Indigenous, Indian. Yeah, because that's what they put in the books to kind of hide things. And, they drew us as the American Indians because that was their language. Uh, but I'm not that other title anymore. And I never thought I would say that, because I was Miss Black Girl Magic, black doctor from the hood, made something of yourself. But nah, I guess it's gonna be Indian magic, Aboriginal magic. What is it, guys? Period. Let me know what we is. Are we Aboriginal magic? What? Excuse me. So yeah, I have to go in here and get my lunch, and I will holler at y'all in the next video. But I want to keep these conversations open. I call it Dr. Sean's theory of knowledge. So when I come live, I will be discussing these things that I find, and so other people can truly understand how deep it goes and come out of this motherfucking trance. Okay? Because I don't want to be locked down no more mentally. I feel so free. I'm gonna shut it off after this, but I feel so motherfucking free. Woo! I'm so grateful every day. That evil shadow that I had on me is gone. Oh my goodness. Y'all don't understand how it feels to come from the hood and feel like you just born into nothingness, being lied to. It can piss you off. But me, I'm trying to handle it another way. Use my knowledge as the power versus my anger as the power. I feel like our ancestors would appreciate. Use your mind. Use your mind, guys. Up here is worth everything. All right? Let me go get my food before I be on here forever because I got a lot to say. So stay tuned. If this channel no longer aligns with what you thought it was about because I switched it over, I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry, actually, because I gotta be mean. All right. So I also made a whole new page for my nail videos, a whole new page for my smoothie videos. So I'm still trying to figure that out. But this is Dr. Sean's truth, like theory of knowledge. Just testing the things that I've learned because I've been bamboozled. Okay. So y'all have a wonderful day. I will see you in the next video. This is Dr. Sean, your cheat test, and I'm out. Bye.